Hey, good evening, Jerry Upchurch here. Just wanted to get my video in today. I've had a busy day. Some of you know that I had a kidney stone block in my bladder, and I went to the hospital early this morning and put to sleep. They removed that thing out of my bladder, came home, slept a little bit, and gosh, I'm ready to go now. So anyway, as I was sitting at the hospital reading, I was reading this book, and again, I get so excited when someone like Felix or anybody recommends a good book. Outwitting the Devil. It's the story of Napoleon Hill, and one by him telling us how to outwit the devil. And I really haven't gotten very far in it because I've got about 4 books that I'm opening and reading. And when I do read, I tend to do a lot of marking and marking things that I like to go back to and read. But as I was reading this today, it really jumped out at me that he was talking about the other self. And so I went in really analyzing what that means. And Mr. Andrew Carnegie, he's the guy that commissioned Napoleon Hill to write the book on what separates successful people from failures, and he had interviewed something like 25,000 failures and in the neighborhood of 5,000 successes, and he's written like 17 statements that actually separate people that are successful from failures, and he was ready to publish. He thought he was ready to publish. So he went up to Andrew Carnegie and started talking to him a little bit about getting ready to get this thing published. And Mr. Carnegie said, "No, I want you to hold off until you find your other self." So even Napoleon Hill at that point did not know exactly what that was, but it was described as someone that has reached a point in their life that they had no further down to go, that they had to take some action to get out of the basement and start moving up the ladder of success. And so again, Dale Carnegie went years trying to find that other self, and sure enough, at one point in his life, he was down on himself. He says, here I've gone all these years studying, identifying what makes successful people, and I am broke. He said, I can never get up and tell anybody again and about how to be successful when I can't even do it myself. And he went out and did some walking around and searching of his soul, and of course he did that a lot. But this one incident came up, and it said that Dale, you need, not Dale, I keep thinking Dale Carnegie, but Napoleon Hill, you need to quit being negative, to start thinking about what you have written and start taking action on it. So Napoleon Hill knew what to do, but he never had taken the action. And there was one point in here where he actually was reading a poem, and the poem was by William Ernest Henley, and it was called Invictus. And you've probably read it. I know some of you've heard of it before. But the last phrase of that little poem says, "It matters not how strait the gates, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." So he began to realize that he is the only one that can take action to make himself a success. He knows the principles, he knows the rules, he has to take the action. Someone else can't do it for him. And that's the way it is a lot of times in our businesses, whether it's internet marketing or whether it's network marketing or anything like that, is we tend to just not ever find that other self. And the other self is when you do reach that point in your life where you realize that your only option is to take action on what you know. Your only option is to take action on what you know. And so we've got to reach that point in our life, or we're never going to be successful. We can play at these games. We can play at Clicks Gone Wild. We can play at multi-level marketing. We can play at any of these games. But until we get to the point of recognizing within ourselves that we are the captain, we are the masters of our soul, and we have to be the ones to take the action to get us out of the basement and into the atmosphere and the air of making money with the options that we're choosing to make money. And Napoleon Hill actually said, after he read that and he meditated on that, he said there was a change. I wrote this phrase down. He says there's a change in the chemistry of my being. There's a change in the chemistry of my being. One more time. There's a change in the chemistry of my being. And what he means by that is he was no longer sedentary. He began to take action, doing the things he knew he had to do. And he could not rest until he got those things done. There was a change in the chemistry of his being. And that's the point we all have to reach. There's a change in the chemistry of our being, knowing that we can no longer do all the things we've been doing. We've got to take the action steps that we know to do to become successful. So with that said, here we are, 7 minutes almost, and so let's go make money.